guys, welcome back to Resolution. In today's video I'm just going to bring to you this little device called Carista. This was sent to me by Carista. I'm just going to give full disclosure on that. I haven't purchased this device, but I am going to give you a rundown on what this OBD2 reader can do for your vehicle. Down below you're going to have a link to the Carista website and you'll be able to then find out if your vehicle is compatible with their app. So what is this? This is a OBD reader. It will plug into vehicles and then you can access all the stuff that mechanics can access when they're looking at your vehicle. So what I'm going to run you through is a 2012 Volkswagen Transporter T5.1. That's a facelift model. I'm just going to show you what this Carista app can do. Now when you actually go into the box, you've got a bit of paperwork, some instructions, and then you've got the device itself. It's a nice small little device. I'll just take it out now. And that's all there is to it. Very nice, very tidy, quite sleek design. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to get this plugged into the T5. I'm going to start it all up. I'm then going to show you on my phone how you run it. Now this is available for Android and also Apple devices. You just need to head to the Play Store or the Apple Store, download the device, link it to this, and then you're up and running, ready to go. So once you've plugged it in, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the vehicle on, just so I don't flatten the battery. Obviously for this one you need to put the clutch down. So we've got the vehicle running. I'm now just going to go onto my mobile. Right, so what you want to do then is open the app. You then click on the connect button. That will then start searching for the OBD reader. Now it can take a few moments, but as long as the plug is on and it's got the little red light, it should start figuring where it's going. There you go, you can see straight away it's picked up the VIN number on the vehicle, so obviously that is the VIN number for this. I'm going to block that out so you don't know what the VIN number is. And you've got certain things here, you've got Customise. So let's click into the customization. Now what this will do, it will start scanning the ECUs. On the dash you've got the lights that will all start flashing, and it will then show you how far through the completion it is in order to scan the device. I think it's quite cool to be able to actually access your own vehicle and go through things that are locked away for the majority of people. This app and this device actually allows you to break in essentially to your car and customize it to your liking. So here we go. The first one we're going to look at is dings and warnings. So bearing in mind this is for the T5 only, there may be more features or less features available for your car. If you go to the Carista website, they will actually run you through what is available for your vehicle. So seatbelt warning, we've got that. I'm going to leave that on. It's always handy to know in the vehicle who's wearing seatbelt and who's not wearing a seatbelt. The next one, we've got instrument display and navigation. So in here you've got voice recognition, multifunction display, refuel quantity and MFD. I believe MFD is the onboard computer for the T5. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And you've got your Bluetooth functions for your multimedia interface. They're all enabled. Next thing we got down here is instruments, languages and units. So just say for instance you go over to the continent, or if you're in the continent you come over to the UK and you want to change your thing to kilometers, the display settings to kilometers or miles, you can do that. You got your speed in units again, in kilometers and miles, your consumption, miles per gallon, UK, US, your distance in a litre for 100 kilometers, and also kilometers per litre. Pressure display, so you can have it read in bar, PSI, reserve in kPa. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but obviously if you go onto the web you'll be able to figure those out. And you got your gallons, your litres, your gallons US and your reserve. So just straight away there's a lot of things you can change on your vehicle just through the actual instruments. It's fantastic. And you've got obviously here you've got your lights, you're coming home and you're leaving home, so this is quite good. But however on this T5 it doesn't actually have auto headlights, so you just got traditional on-off headlights. So on this one you've got it tells you that you can actually use something with auto headlights. So we can't use coming home lights. However, coming home lights, we can change the duration of it. So we can go from 10 seconds all the way up to 1 minute, 60 seconds in 5-second intervals. And obviously when you select that, you just press your headlight flasher and it will actually turn the headlights on for the duration of the time that you've set. 15 seconds, let's change it. Let's go for 20 seconds. You literally hit save. It then says saving, it shows you your percentage completed, and there you go, job done. Next thing we've got leaving home lights. You need auto headlights, headlights coming, leaving home headlights duration. I'm not 100% sure what that one is. I really can't figure what that would be, but I'll leave that on 15 seconds because it's the same principle. And you've also got coming home lights. You can use your low beam or your fog lights. This T5 doesn't have fog lights, it only has low beam, so I can't change that one. Going further down, we've got daytime running lights. I've enabled that. You can disable that. That's basically just the LEDs on the front of the vehicle. Allow configuration daytime running lights to flash via display. Again, not sure what that is. There's a lot of things that this device will actually open up in your car. So a lot of it you may understand, but there are probably a lot of things that you won't understand. But this is quite a nice one. I like this. So you've got turn off daytime running lights when you turn your indicators on. I've turned that on this app, which is quite good. So your daytime running lights are on. As soon as you indicate, your daytime running light will come off, and then your indicator will come on. That obviously just shows people a little bit easier that your indicator's on without confusing it with a daytime running light. I do like that feature, so I've enabled that. That wasn't initially enabled on this vehicle, so that is something that Carista has definitely helped with the T5. What have we also got? We've got exterior lights, so you've got change, so you've got lane change, turn signal, auto flash. So MFD is a multi-function display on the dashboard. Lane turn signal, auto flash. So on this one, if you just tap it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to go to 5 flashes. I'm going to save that. Normally manufacturers set it to 3 flashes. We're going to go for 5 now. Again, that's all done through this app. So if we press it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's as easy as that. This is such a user-friendly device. So we've got turn off fog lights when high beams are on. Can't use that because we've got no fog lights. Euro park lights when ignition is turned off. Enabled. Yeah, I'll leave that on. Parking lights only when ignition is on. Now I've turned that off because I want to be able to turn your parking lights on when you leave your vehicle at night if you require parking lights. So that's good that you can turn it on and off. What else we got down here? We've got flash brake lights in an emergency. That won't actually enable on this vehicle. See, I'll try and set it up. But when it says, there you go, the vehicle is rejecting the new setting value. It's possible the settings not supported by your vehicle. So that's absolutely fine. Not all settings are supported. You've just got to bear that in mind. What else have we got? Here we've got cornering lights, fog lights, but again, we don't have fog lights on this vehicle. We've got flash hazard lights in an emergency stop. This vehicle does allow that, so I've turned that on. Got interior lights. Turn on interior lights when key is taken out of ignition. That wasn't a feature that was enabled on this car, so I have enabled that through the Carista app. Okay, so when you go into the beep and blink section for the locking, you've got an option to enable the vehicle to beep when the alarm is enabled. I'm not going to activate these because could you imagine if you turn up at 1 o'clock in the morning, you lock your vehicle, you go inside and it arms the alarm and then suddenly beep beep and the whole neighbourhood wakes up. You're going to be the hatred of the neighbourhood very, very quickly on that. So I'm going to leave that one off. You've got beep when locking with the remote. That could be quite handy, but again, if you turn up to your house late at night, that's just going to annoy people. Again, you can beep when you unlock and blink turn signals when locking and unlocking with the remote. That is a good one. I've activated that because on my car, the BMW Z4 E85, it doesn't bleep, it doesn't blink the signals when you unlock the vehicle. So that is very frustrating. So on the T5, that is activated. Mirrors, activate side mirror heaters when rear window defroster is on. This doesn't have a rear window defroster because it's a panel vehicle at the back. However, I've turned it on just in the hope that it may activate at some point if there's some way of activating the rear panel window defroster. Parking sensors, when you go into that, you've got rear parking sensors, and you can change the volume of your parking sensors. You can also set the tone of your parking sensors, which I think is quite cool. Trunk, unlock the trunk when doors are unlocked. That's good for a camper van. Windows and sunroof. This doesn't have a sunroof because it's a pop top, but on this one you've got enable settings for opening and closing sunroof and windows. I've turned that on because on this vehicle this wasn't set up for manufacturer, so when you unlock the vehicle, you can actually hold a key and the windows will go up and down. That was not enabled until I plugged in the Carista app. So that is quite good. Long press there, we've got a few more options here. I'm not going to go through them all word by word, but you get the gist of it all. Washers and wipers, additional tear wiper, windshield, loads of options there for your wipers, and we've got other. So horn works even when ignition is off. Let's see if that actually does work. Now that will be really annoying in the camper van, because if you're leaning on the steering wheel when you parked up somewhere, well, it does. There we go. So I'm going to turn that back off because I don't want that on, but the Carista actually enables you to do that. Enable smart key buttons when ignition is on. Not sure what that means. I'm not going to play around with it. Let's come out of that. So that's the customization section. Let's go now onto the diagnostic section. So we'll come into now straight away the Carista app starts scanning all the vehicle's ECUs. So there's one ECU scanned, 12 ECU scanned, and this has actually brought up 7 faults on this Volkswagen camper van. So we can see straight away basic OBD2, there's no faults. CAN network gateway, no faults. Engine, no faults, which is always a good one. ABS, no faults. Steering angle, no faults. Where are we going? So we're all the way down to the bottom. We're going to central electronics. Feedback locked position, driver's door. Feedback locked position, passenger's door. So it seems that it's all to do with the locks. Okay. So there was an issue with this. So basically the battery ran out on the key. Now when you took the key out of the ignition, the doors would unlock, and when you start the vehicle up and you move off, the doors would lock. That's how I set the Carista up to do this. However, for some reason, with the key dying, it wouldn't actually allow the doors to lock properly. For some reason, it was a bit bizarre. So I'm going to reset that, and that basically wipes the ECU. When you come out and you go back into diagnose, starts the scanning process all over again. First ECU scan, 12 ECU scan, 14 ECU scanned in total, and there's only 2 faults this time. So that fault initially that was there for the door locking mechanisms, that's now been wiped. That's not an issue. We'll go back in here, and it's telling me that the daytime running lamps on the near side and off side are not functioning properly. Now I know that because they're not canvas LEDs. So as soon as I replace that, that will then still stay here, and in the Carista app I can go in, I can reset it, and I can get rid of that warning. That is really, really handy. You can also go into the service. Now again, this is going to be scanning through the vehicle. It's such a good app. I mean, the fact that in this day and age you can buy a relatively cheap device with a good subscription, and you can unlock features on your car that were not possible before. So in the service, we got service indicator reset. There's no service indicator needing to be reset on this one, but I can do if need be. You've got diesel particulate filter, the DPF regen. Now, when you go into this, so soot level on this is 9.79 grams, and when you actually go into it, it says regeneration is not usually necessary at this soot level. So when you come down to the actual bulk of the text, it tells you how to actually do the regen yourself. Now it says here that drive on a highway for 10 to 15 minutes above 40 miles per hour whilst keeping the engine revs around between 2 and 2,500 RPM, and your fuel tank must be at least quarter full. That's really helpful information. So you can manually start a DPF regeneration on that. It will ping up on the dashboard letting you know it's done it. Take the vehicle out for a drive, and it will just force the DPF to give a good clean. That's a really good thing as well, so you can keep on top of your DPF valve. Battery registration, this hasn't been registered, so I did have a look at this, but I'm not sure on that battery how I get all the serial numbers and the capacity. But basically you can register your battery with the Carista app to the vehicle's ECU. Now the benefits of doing that is that the computer on board will tell the car how much charge to put in the battery, so you don't prematurely waste your battery. That's a really good thing to do. And also, some things are not available on the vehicle until you register a battery. I know on my BMW it goes into transportation mode when you don't register a battery, and therefore you can't actually use majority of OBD readers. So it's a really good thing that you can actually register your battery without having to take it to a dealership and get them to do it for you. So we'll come out of that one. It says 2 battery registrations on this one that you can do, because there is actually a leisure battery installed on this one. You got your system prime. Use this tool to purge the air from the fuel lines after the system has been serviced. Again, if you're doing the maintenance yourself, this is phenomenal that you can actually get in there and you can do stuff that dealerships would only have been able to do in the past. So we'll come out of this one. We've got throttle body adaptation. This tool is to calibrate the throttle body after it's been serviced or replaced. And again, it's just fantastic that this little device, the Carista device, allows you to hack into your car and just do everything that a main dealer would be able to do at a fraction of the price. You got detailed ECU info. So again, it comes up with your VIN number. It's just scanning through there. Tells you some more information. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to block this out because I don't want yourselves knowing exactly the engine number, software version, but it goes through all the information on the ECU. You can hear the dashboard pinging away. ABS parts, steering angle. It's really interesting to find out all this information about your car and then go into it. Airbags. I'm going to stop it there purely because you can't see what I'm going to be showing you, because I don't want you to know the information about this vehicle. You can do an emissions test, just checking the emissions. So there you go, it tells you fuel system's ready, or PM filtering monitoring is not ready. Not sure what that means. And you can reset the OBD if you need to. Come out of service, you go to live data. So this should give me an idea of what the car's actually doing, and you know it's working because the actual dash keeps flashing up with all its lights. If that does happen, that's absolutely normal, don't worry. 94 takes a little bit of time because obviously it's trying to register everything whilst the vehicle is in motion. So you've got airbag crash count report, so you can see if your airbags have ever been deployed by the looks of this, which is pretty interesting. So yep, that's what I want to see. Zeros on everything. It looks like there's been no airbag deployments. Service interval information. Again, if you just go onto the Carista website, you'll be able to find out if your vehicle is compatible with their app. And then there you go. It tells you all the information about when your vehicle was last serviced and how long until your next service is. Really, really helpful. So maximum time interval until inspection, 730 days. All this information is really interesting. It's just something you can sit down for a good hour or two and just figure out. So this one will speed live data. So I'm guessing if you've got this on a hands-free device or you've got a passenger, they can drive the vehicle and it will show you what the speed of the wheels are moving. That's quite interesting. I guess that would be helpful if you've got like potentially like a brake binding or something, or an issue with a wheel. So you've got engine turbo live data, see if your engine turbo's running correctly. Let's just give this a little bit of a blip on the accelerator, and you can see that it's all changing as soon as I rev it. So it's all live information. Engine data, diesel particulate filter, vehicle mileage information. Let's go to that one. So this could tell you if your vehicle is actually being rewound on the clock. Obviously this is a digital mileometer, so I don't think you'll be able to do it so easily, but this should, okay, that's in miles, this is in kilometers. So yeah, I mean, there's what we're looking at, engine mileage, you got 6 kilometers more. So there's a potential that when this engine was built, the manufacturer actually ran it up in the factory process for about 6 kilometers before installing it into the vehicle. So that's quite interesting to find out, that the mileage of the vehicle and the engine is slightly out. And that is basically the Carista app. It is such a simple, easy device to use. Now, like I said, this device has actually been sent to me by Carista, and I just want to say a big shout out and thank you to them for supporting my channel and sending me this device. This device is not available on my vehicle, which is a bit frustrating. However, I think that gives you a good idea that I'm not plugging this into my own vehicle and singing its praise. This is a real test of how this runs on somebody else's vehicle, and I'm thoroughly impressed. There are other ones out there which cost a lot more money than the Carista one. Check out the link in the description below on the prices that Carista charge, and yeah, what can I say? It will save you money going to a dealership and just paying for that initial ECU reading from an OBD scanner from a dealership that could charge you £80 labour just for plugging in a device. Whereas buy this, get it plugged in yourself, diagnose it, maybe even reset it and see if that fault goes away. If it comes back, then you can take it to a dealership and explain this is what the problem is. All for a small, simple device. This has got a lot of power at your fingertips. So big shout out to Carista, link in description below. Check out their website, check out their Instagram, let them know that Rev Solutions pointed you in their direction. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you soon.